Hello everybody, today I'm here to do a bit of an upcycling craft. I want to make a little display for my windowsill. It's autumn themed, and my daughter was throwing out this pumpkin cup. It actually comes with a lid and a straw. She's had this for a year or two, but I've seen they've still got them in B&M and probably lots of other shops as well, that in a variation with or without the lids. I would choose to probably not have a lid, I don't know, but I'm just upcycling something that she was going to throw away. So I've given it a quick sand and I've cleaned it with alcohol, which is why I'm holding it with my paper so I don't put greasy finger marks back on it. And I'm going to be painting this in blues to match the colour of my stand. So I'm going to give this at least one coat of white acrylic gesso to kind of give me a blank canvas to start on, and then I'll be back to show you what I'm going to have a go at. So this cup has now had 3 coats of gesso, and what I'm going to do is start by using a really dark blue-black. This is actually iridescent, if I can say the word. I'm going to do 1 coat with that to start with, and then probably when that's completely dried, a 2nd coat that I then blend some lighter colours into. I haven't quite decided yet. I haven't painted inside because I'm planning to fill this up and do like a fake whipped cream topping, hot chocolatey type thing. So I'm just going to be really lazy and squeeze this directly onto the cup and spread it around. We'll definitely need 2 coats, as you can see, because it's quite gappy. I'm just going to cover this as a first coat. I left the gesso overnight, so I knew it was definitely nice and dry. As you can see, I'm not doing anything flashy, I'm just whacking it on there. So I'll be back to do the 2nd, hopefully more interesting coat with you. So there has been 1 quick coat of that dark blue-black metallic paint on here. It's been quite a few days since I did this coat because I just couldn't decide what I wanted to do, whether I wanted to fade from dark to light, whether I wanted to do highlights in the centres and the dark dips in the crevices. And so then I sort of didn't do anything, and I've actually just decided I'm going to just go abstract and loose and kind of just lots of different blues mingled together. And so I've got some blues up here, and I'm just going to kind of throw them on and see what happens. I'm also going to do this upside down because I've kind of mangled the bottom a bit because I keep standing on the bottom and not thinking about what I'm doing. And this top bit's going to be like a whipped cream fake topping thing. So I'm just going to go for it, and I'm quite happy to see some of this darker blue as we move around the cup. And I'm not going to clean my brush between colours because I just want them all to blend nicely, and it sort of be just what it ends up being. Obviously you might have a more distinct idea of what you might want to do here, so I'm going to do the handle last so that I can hold it. Try not to think about it too much, just go with it. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, hopefully well enough. It may still need another coat, and then so it might still change a bit from what it is right now, but I don't mind that. I'm just trying to get some colour on there. Yeah, So feel free to stick around and see how it turns out. Like I said, my main kind of, the exciting bit, I should say, is like building like a fake drink on top. So I kind of just needed to crack on with this. I don't really need to the bottom, but we might as well just do that. But yeah, I needed to crack on and like have done this bit, because obviously I've got to do this bit before I can do the rest. So now I can stand it like that. Work on the handle bit. As you can see, I'm just being really random with my colours, and where they blend, and where they don't, they don't. Oh, not my camera, sorry. So I'm trying to bend to seal in all the gaps underneath this, this handle there. Yeah, you see, now I'm thinking, oh, I could do it a bit more dark now. But I think I'm going to let this dry and then see where we're at and go from there. So I'll be back shortly. Right, so having said I'm going to leave this to dry, I then came back 5 minutes later and thought, why don't I just add in a bit of the dark colour from the previous layer rather than wait for this layer to dry and end up doing yet another layer. So I'm just going to be brave, and I've brought the camera hopefully at an angle where you can see what I'm doing, because with my handles wet I can't tilt the cup. So I'm also conscious the camera's kind of in my way. But I'm just going to come in, adding a bit of this all the way around, and then I will come back and blend it more once I've got some of the colour on. Obviously, because the cup is upside down, I'm not going to be able to do as much around the brim. I can put a bit on there, but I might not. It just felt like it really needed some of that darker colour. And I like the brushstroke effect. You know, you could make it really blendy and really smooth, but I'm not going to do that. A bit of everything on my brush. I'm just trying to get an effect that I'm happy with. And I'm just going to go around this rim a little bit. You know, I don't necessarily need the colours to always be strong in different areas. I just kind of, I wanted the variation in the colours to be a bit more like significant rather than just the really pale colours. Because this is for autumn, and while I'm not kind of going like super dark or spooky, I wanted it to have darker tones than I might do for like spring or summer. The problem with this is that you never quite know when to stop with it, because there's no like, oh, I'm finished. It could go on for hours and hours. I think I'm pretty happy with that. So the cup is now dry. I will varnish it, but I think I'm going to varnish it in one go at the end rather than varnish it in stages. So what I've done now is I've just turned it upside down and drawn round that top rim so that I've got a cardboard circle that just fits over the top. And then I'm going to start with my brown slick paint, and I'm going to do like a hot chocolate drip around the edge, and then I'm going to then stick that on and it will dry, and then I'll go on to the whipped cream after that's dried. So I just check the angle. All I'm going to do is work along like this. If I need a bit more on the top when I've finished, I'll just go around and stick a bit more on the top. But I'm just doing the hot chocolate overflowing a bit over the edge. You could also use cream glue for this. I was going to use cream glue, but then I realised I'd run out of my brown, so I didn't want to faff around mixing in paint or anything, so I just used this instead. You could also make a drip out of foam clay if you wanted a more pronounced drip, or you didn't have this. I'm just going to go around like this. Trying to make sure there are no gaps on the edge bit. And then I'm going to position my cardboard circle and leave that to dry. So in an ideal world, I would have left this drip to dry, but it's a Friday, and if I leave this to dry, I won't be able to finish the filming until Monday. So I'm going to crack on with this. I am going to use cream glue to pipe with. You could also use lightweight filler, something like that. But what I have forgotten, which I will go and get, is my polystyrene ball to pop on top of my cardboard. Right, so I've just chopped the bottom bit off of a polystyrene ball so it had a flat base, and glued that on to support the filler we're putting on. Having said we're using cream glue, I've changed my mind. I think it will take too much of the cream glue, so I am actually using lightweight filler with a 1M piping tip. Hopefully I can do this without knocking the camera. But all I'm going to do is start around here. She says, hang on a minute. It's not wanting to, there we go. Come through. This filler's a little on the dry side, which I don't mind because it will help to hold, she says, as it doesn't come out of the piping bag. It will help to hold some of the kind of piping shape better that sometimes you lose when the filler's more wet. And of course now touch the chocolate. So you can see how dry it is because I'm shaking as I squeeze the piping bag. Come on, filler. It's a lot drier than I thought it was. You can just, you know, tap it round, because obviously when you, I've worked out what I'm thinking is, you know, when you piped your whipped cream onto hot chocolate, you know, it's not neat and tidy, it starts to melt, it goes everywhere, and this is all going to come out of my piping bag. Show you the top, look, that's the top, because I'm squeezing so hard. But obviously I'm determined now to get this done. Let me just try and work out. I feel like there must be a blockage in my piping bag, but I can't see one, so that means it's underneath somewhere. Let me get rid of some the bit that's come out the top. I'm making a really big mess. Oh, come on. I think I'm about to burst the piping bag if I'm not careful. It's coming out the top. Right, I'm going to get a skewer and try and clear out this piping tip, and I will be back in a second. So take 2 or 3, however many you want to call it. Oh, let's move that. It's a bit of a cheats version with a sandwich bag, if I don't want to open another piping bag, just for this small amount. And I haven't done this before, it might not look like it, but I have tried this before and it's worked fine. I wouldn't do it for a large amount. Ah! This is all the things you don't do in this video. There. Right. Now I've made a giant mess. Gigantic, I think I was thinking of to begin with. I'm just going to clear up this and come back and show you a bit of sprinkles and decoration. I've cleared up the mess. You can't see from this angle, I will show you when it's dry. There are a few little gaps at the bottom where you can see the cardboard, but when the polyfiller is dry, I'll go back in with my slip paint and fill up any gaps. Now I'm just giving this filler a spray with water because, as you saw, it's really quite dry and drier than I thought. And I've got some glitter. Where's my camera? And I want the glitter to stick. So I'm doing blue to tone in with everything else, and it's quite nice because it's a bit festive. It kind of gives a hint of what's to come. That's probably good enough. And I'll be back once all that is dry, otherwise I will do damage to it if I try and do anything else. So actually I forgot, I meant to add a clay cookie. This was made, it's got a filler on it already, using a mould, but I have got a video tutorial that shows how I make them by hand with foam clay. So you can go and look that up, and you can make a little cookie to add onto your hot chocolate, or you can also buy them. I'm looking through the camera here trying to work out where I'm going to add this, so this may not end well, but I think we're just going to go in here. This one is polymer clay, but usually if I know what I'm doing with them, and I know I'm adding them to something like this, I'll use foam clay and I'll add a skewer to give them extra stability. So if that doesn't stay for any reason, I will use a bit of Gorilla Glue to stick it in place. So I was about to start editing this video for you and realised I hadn't actually shown it to you dried and finished, so here we are. This is actually the stand I'm using to display it on. I haven't varnished it yet. I will be varnishing it with just a standard craft gloss varnish, but I'm sure you don't want to see me doing that. It's not very interesting. I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. It's going to be the centerpiece in my little autumnal display stand. Yeah, so I hope that was interesting. You might have a go, I don't know, but hopefully you'll be back to see some more with me soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.